Okay, now, all right, now it's recording. And then let me go ahead and share my screen. I guess, do you guys want to give a quick intro or something, or? Let me see here.
I know Jeff and John. I don't know you. Maybe
Okay.
you introduce you.
I know, right? Just put me on blast or what?
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
you're good.
sorry.
So my name is Hamam, and I started Konquer with one of my partners, Raul. I'm from Colorado, actually, but I live out in Washington. And I boxed, back in the day, like maybe like 10 years ago or so. Still try to stay active, but I'm not like competing right now. I'm just too busy. Um, and I just love the sport absolutely. And I have dealt with some of the problems firsthand of like training hard, showing up, not getting matched up, or getting matched up with the wrong person. And I noticed that it's very common, and then I built the software out with some friends before, and then I didn't necessarily hit the nail on the head, I guess, until I matched up with Raul, who he's had over 20 years of experience, as a coach, matchmaker, and he's done all sorts of uh, amateur events and professional events, and he really helped me understand some of the problems a little bit deeper. And then after that partnership, we just started to fix things, and then we released it, and he just put it on some shows in Colorado, and then ever since then it's been going great. So it's a little bit of background. Okay, let's see here. We got one other person. All right.
I'm from Colorado too.
Oh, you are? That's
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. And right now you're out on the East Coast, is that right?
No, I'm in Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, okay. I see.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me.
Yeah.
Hey, Christy, how are you doing?
Hi, Chris.
I apologize for my tardiness. I was having several technical issues. I'm here now.
Oh no, it's okay.
My connection might be bad, so I might turn her off to try to not completely lose connection.
Oh no, you're fine. Okay, I'm gonna present my screen. I was just giving them sort of a rundown, a little bit about myself, and sort of Conquer, and then I think
All right, great. Thank you for being here, Mom.
absolutely. I'm looking forward to you guys using Conquer and learning about it, and then hopefully helping you guys navigate things as well. So I mean, just a little background, I guess. Like our goals are basically to build tools to simplify the matchmaking process, to help you guys put out on events, single day, multi-day events, even tournaments, and just to like create like a local network. So it's really easy for you guys to reach out to other coaches, other gyms, and other fighters. And doing this in Colorado, we've seen it's increased the number of local shows, it's improved the turnout, and it's increased the fights in each show. And there's a lot less arguments between teams. There's a lot more transparency. And for the event organizer, it's just made their life a lot simpler. So that's kind of the background. And basically what I'm going to run through is like, how do you create a profile? How do you add fighters to an event? How do you approve and deny matches? And then how do you create an event? And then how do you set up the matches? And how do you use the bout sheet? Okay, so I will just get started here. So first off, I'm just going to go ahead and log out here. And let's see here. Can you guys see everything clearly, or?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, excellent. All right, here, let me just make this maybe a little bit. Okay, so this is just the home page. If you're not signed up, you just go in and select sign up, And I'm just going to create a coach's profile right now, just for example. So I'll say, and this is on the test site. This isn't on the live site, by the way. So let's say Chris, I don't know, Hemingway, and then Chris123 at gmail.com. Okay, so you just create an account, and then let's take a look here. So one thing is, if you're a fighter, you can, like fighters over 13 or whatever, they can create their own accounts and then connect with their coach on there, and their coach will just manage them. They'll add them to events and stuff like that. That's an option, especially for the older fighters. They tend to, over 18, they tend to kind of like to, I guess, track things that way. But you also, as a coach, have the option of just creating your profile and then creating a profile for the fighter, and then you're just the manager. So you can do both. So right here, it's like to manage your fighters, just create your profile. Then you can add the fighters to the profile. So we'll just create a coach profile here. Do you coach amateurs or amateurs and professionals? Just let's say amateurs. You don't have to enter in your member ID for USA Boxing. It's just useful for if you're trying to officiate events, and you try to add yourself as an official. And then you can just add your gym name here. So let's just say KO Boxing Club, and let's say Boston, Massachusetts. Okay. And then the point of adding your phone number is that way you can receive notifications when your fighter's been matched up, or when somebody's messaged you in your inbox. That way, you kind of only join when you kind of only get on there when you think you might need something. And then let's see here. So I'm just going to add a profile picture real quick. And that's pretty much it. Your profile is done. And I can just kind of show you guys. Was that clear regarding creating a profile? So this is pretty much it. And then now when you want to add fighters to your team, let's say you want to create a profile for them. So you just select add fighters you manage right here. And if they're not already on Konquer, you can just create a new team member here. And let's say Jason Smith. He's got, I don't know, 5 fights. Male, 10, 2002. And then you can select the weight class. Let's say 165 pounds. It already pulls up the weight table based on the age and the gender. And then we added something here for lower weight limit and upper weight limits, just because for a local show, sometimes you're not always fighting at your exact weight class. So this is just for the matchmaker's point of view. It's like, well, I don't want my fighter going under, if they fight at 165, I don't want him matched up under 156 or something. Or I don't want him fighting somebody who's over 168. So it's just a reference. So here I'll just say 156, and then let's say 170. And then you just enter in their member ID. And it already automatically adds their gym info, and then that's it. You added your fighter. So there we
Can I ask
go.
a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Will there be a possibility in the future where this will be kind of linked to the match tracker in USA Boxing, where if we type in their member ID, it'll kind of pull up their history?
We would love to do that. Honestly, I could have my guys build that out pretty quick. It all depends on how open USA Boxing is to it, So we're totally on board for that.
USA Boxing would have to give, and that would probably take a little while, but I think that's potentially in the future.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think I think that's something that we would like to implement, though, for sure. So, from a technical standpoint, it's very doable. So I'll just say that. Okay, so now we have one of the fighters here listed, and now if you want to just add them to an event, it's pretty simple. You just go to the home page here, and there's already some events that are listed. Remember, this is the test site, so this isn't the actual live version, but it sort of breaks it down based on location. So if I'm located in Boston, Google is going to go ahead and pull my location information and just show the events that are relevant to us within, Massachusetts. And then it'll show you the events that are outside where you are. So I'm in Washington, so it's telling me there's 10 events outside of Washington, and then these are the events in Washington. Now these are fake events once again. So let's just say I want to add my fighters to this event here, which is happening. It looks like it's happening today. So if I just go here, fight on card, and then so I can just add my fighter right here. I just go like that, and it'll just have me confirm their number of fights is indeed 5 fights. And now that I've added to him, the event organizer gets a text that they've been added so that they can match them up. So that's just the basic rundown. And I also, let me take a look here. I think I also got a text message about it, so I can show you guys the message that you'll get when a fighter's been matched up. Or let me see here. Sorry. Okay. So typically you'll just get a message here, and it says that Jason Smith, if you're the event organizer, has been added to the Gladiators Challenge. And if you receive a text message, or if you receive a message to your inbox, you also get a text message notification. If you've been matched up with a fighter, you get a text message. So this tries to sort of keep you, notified. So that's the basic aspect of it. Now, if I want to change my fighter's weight or anything like that, I can just select his profile, and right here you'll see it says that the account is managed by Chris Hemingway. I'm the one who created the profile for them. Anybody who messages Jason, it goes to Chris. So that's how it works. And then and it'll also show the coach here. So let's see here. So I guess I'm messaging myself here, but let's see. Okay. Oh. Yeah, this is the live version actually, but I can go through that a little bit later. So let me see here. So now I'm going to show you guys how an event is created and, from the event organizer standpoint. Do you guys have any questions about that, what we've gone through so far? No? Okay. All right. I just have to log in as somebody else here, so just give me a second.
Really quick, I was going to ask if I'm setting up a fight, is there a way where I can look for specific fighters in my region?
Absolutely. You mean like, as in? So
let's say I have a 165 pounder, and I'm trying to, contact the 160.
Yeah, so you want to reach out to other coaches that have fighters that you think would be a good matchup for the upcoming event. Is that what you're asking? Yeah, so that's something, that's something that, yes, you can do. So this is the test site, but this is the live site. So right now, in Colorado, for instance, if I select search here, and then I believe, let me take a look here. So I can look at, okay, so you see the fighters here. I can look at fighters based on the number of fights they have, based on their age, and based on their weight class. So let's say I'm looking at, if you want to find all the fighters that are, regardless of the number of fights, let's say everybody who's between 150 and and let's say 170. Does that work? Let's go right there. And let's say within, this would be, let's see, I just kind of want to include everybody. All right, so males, okay. So yeah, this would be specific to your location though. Let's see here. So now, okay. So now it's basically pulled each of them and it shows how far away their gym is. And this is the live site. So it's showing me because I'm the nearest one, most relevant, but now I can see there's Marcellus, Dejon, Thomas, Gilbert, and these are all guys that are, okay, 165, 165, 156, and then you can just hop onto their profile, message their coach, etc.
Cool.
Okay, so now I'm gonna get back to the test version real quick. So how do you create an event, right? So you just go right here. Anybody can create an event, by the way, a coach, official, fighter, doesn't really matter. So you just select create event over here and you can just write, I don't know, let's call it Boston boxing event. Single day event. You don't have to add a sanction number, but you can. And let's say it's going to be this weekend. First bout is 2 p.m. Doors open. I don't know. Let's say 1 p.m. Weigh-ins 8 to 10, and then you just add the location. So let's say, let's go with that. And you can add your fact sheet over here. If the weigh-in is a different location, you can specify that. And let's say you want to add a few more details. So tickets are, $15 at the door. And then you can upload a fact sheet here if you want. And that's pretty much it. Now the event is created and everybody in Boston is going to be able to see this event. And normally I'll add a flyer, but I didn't this time, but it'll sort of show you all the details that you've added, and it shows that you're the event organizer for it. And so I think the best thing is, because I already have some good example events with fighters that have been added to them. So this is an example event here, the WBC Gladiators Challenge. So once fighters have been added to your event, you just hop into Matchmaker here, and this is where all the matchmaking happens. So we have, let's see here, 51 fighters that are unmatched. We have 16 matches that have already been made. And then we have 82 total fighters that have signed up for the event. Some of them are matched, some of them are not matched. So if I want to match some of them up, I just go by age. So let's say I can pick the 10-year-olds, and I just want to look at, the males, and I want to look at let's say the 101 pounders. Okay, there's only one. Well, let's say the 80 pounders. And now this doesn't just pull the 10-year-olds, this pulls all the fighters that a 10-year-old is allowed to fight. So it should pull the 9-year-olds up to 12 years old. And then if you try to match them up, it's going to follow the rules, which is 24-month age difference from 10 to 12, but then you can't go below 9 years old for this. So right now, if I select, let's see here, if I select James here, and it shows me that it's highlighted in green, so it says it's legal. And this is just an error that basically, because I've already created this matchup for demonstration purposes and then I canceled it, it's just letting me know that it's already been created. That way the matchmaker doesn't try to create the same matchup twice if it's already been rejected by one or both the teams because, maybe they fought last weekend or something like that. So in this case, we'll just select continue. And now I can see the match, you got 80 pounds, 7 fights, 4 fights, 10 years, 10 years. Look at their gym, everything looks good. You select create match, and then both teams are going to get a notification that they've been matched up, and now it's been added over. Let's take a look here. It's probably going to be, I think this is sorted by, let's see here. Okay, here it is. So the match has already been made, and both teams have to confirm it. So on the live version, almost everybody confirms it, but we're not necessarily doing that here. So that's kind of how you match people up, but we've also made it faster. So if you want to just kind of go through this list a lot quicker, all you have to do is select this smart mode over here. And this is automatically, the second you select somebody without using any of the drop downs, it only shows the fighters that they're allowed to fight legally. So if I select Jason Washington, there's nobody he can fight on this whole list. But if I select, let's say, Antonio here, okay, these guys come from the same gym, so legally he can fight them, but it's not a match you typically see, so you probably don't want that. Let's see here, who actually has a lot? Okay, I have to find a weight class that has a lot of people in it. Maybe. Okay, let's see here. Maybe. No. Might just go to 18 years and up and maybe look at the 165 pounders. Okay, there we go. So let's say from this whole list, I'm just looking at, oh. So if I pull up Mario, for instance, here, and okay, now I just have one person pulled up. Now it's gonna, from this entire list, it shows me that there's only 3 or 4 people he can fight. And the people that are in yellow, legally he can fight them, but it's not the most ideal matchup. So the ones that are more ideal are going to be like Jason and maybe James. So let's see here. So this guy has 165 pounds, 3 fights, 18 years old. So who's probably going to be the best? Okay, this guy, 165, 5 fights, 19. Yep, I think that's a good matchup. So then I would just select that, create match, and pretty much that's done there. And then what happens is you'll get a text message. So I can show you guys that. So both teams will receive one of these. So one of them says that please confirm the matchup between Cinco and James on July 5th to prevent cancellation. When you select that, it takes you to the match approval, which I'll show you guys here in a second. So once a matchup has been made, you go to match approvals. If you're the coach and you've been notified that you have a match to approve, and it's going to basically pull up all the matches that still need to be approved here. So let me take a look. Let's see. There's none to be approved for Eddie. I think it's, I'm thinking of a good example to reference. Yeah, I might have to come back to that. Let me find somebody who has an upcoming match. But typically you'll see right there the matches that still need to be approved. So let's take a look here. Okay, so you have 18 matches. And this is the public view, by the way. So publicly you'll be able to see this. And you'll know ahead of time who's like being matched up and stuff like that. So anyways, if I want to look at this matchup, I'm going to have to pull up the fighter and then show you guys. Okay. So I basically went in as Leon Spinks. All right. Let's see here. Okay, I think it's because the date is passed on this event, so I just have to make that adjustment real quick. One second. Okay. We just did that so people aren't trying to add themselves to an event after the weigh-in and there's like no confusion. Okay. So I'm just going to make a change here to the event and just push out the date a little bit. Okay. And if somebody changes the date, they'll just get a notification, you know, that this might affect some of the matches just because the date, the age can be affected by, you know, the date of the event. Anyways, so now that that's changed, let's take a look here. Okay, so yeah, so now you'll see this event because I changed the date. So typically, once somebody's been matched up, you'll have a match approval. You come to the match approvals page, and on the left, you can confirm the match or you can deny the match. This is where the match approvals are. And so as a coach, you'll come in here, you'll see your fighter and theirs, and you're like, oh, you know, 5 fights, 10 years old, 9 years old. This seems pretty reasonable. So you can select confirm match, everything will be done, and it'll be complete. But I just want to show you what happens when you don't want to confirm the matchup. You can pull out of the event, and you'll just have to like explain why. Or you can request a new opponent, and maybe because they fought 2 weeks ago and you want him to fight somebody else. And maybe you can even specify who you want them to fight. So once you fill this out, the event organizer is going to be notified about this. So I'm just going to select cancel here, and I guess I can confirm or deny the match. But anyways, you can also see all the fights that you have added your fighters to. So this one shows you've added your fighters to, there's the Gladiators Challenge, and then the most recent one coming up is another one, which is happening July 30th. And your fighter still hasn't been matched up. So you can pull them out of the card even if you've already added them. And then this is the one where you still have to accept the matchup. So I'll just go ahead and select that here. Let me take a look. Let's see. Oh. Here, I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Oh. Okay, so here's the match, and now you can just confirm it, and it shows that you're still waiting for the opponent to confirm the matchup as well. So that's pretty much the match confirmation. So all of that happens over here in this window. And once again, if you want to make a change, if you already approved it, but then, you know, your fighter is not feeling well or something came up, you can just select withdraw over here. And then you can just say, you know, they can't attend the event, or you request a new opponent. The advantage of this is that, okay, you guys aren't showing up to the event, but you want the other team to know so that their fighter doesn't show up, you know, that way they don't drive a few hours or whatever. This happens immediately. The matchup will just be canceled if you do this, and that prevents, no call, no shows, and a lot of those problems. Do you guys have any questions at all?
Not yet.
Okay, that's good to hear. Okay, so that sort of is a lot of the match approvals, and I can get back into the bout sheets now if you guys want. I just don't want to throw too much at you and confuse you. Do any of you guys actually host events, or?
Yeah, I think at least half of us do in the call.
Oh, awesome. Okay, I just want to make sure it's like relevant. Okay, perfect. So now you guys just saw the basics of how to create an event and then how to match fighters up, right? Now the next thing is when it comes to creating the bout sheet, right? So for this event over here, just because I already have matchups made, I can keep creating matchups, but let's say I want to go to the bout sheet. So this sort of like automates that process. So now I take all the fighters that have been matched up from that event, and right now I have 18 matches. So I can sort them by age and weight, because typically you have the smaller fighters that weigh less fight earlier on in the show. So this will just automatically sort them. So I just select that right there, and it has sorted them. And then I can add an intermission. Typically in Colorado, there's like up to 35 fights in a show, so we'll have like 2 intermissions. So if I want to add an intermission after bout, I don't know, let's say bout 7 for 15 minutes, so it adds the intermission there, and there it is right there, and yep. So let's see here. So now the next thing I want to do, let's say I want to move a match up. So if I want to move this match, I want this one to be the second match, I just select up. If I want to make this match the 12th match or whatever, I can just enter in the number 12 right there, and then it moves it from the 3rd position to the 12th position. Or let's say, so you can just move the matches up or down depending on how you want to set up your event. The next thing is, let's see here. Okay, so if you want to send out a commission sheet to somebody to run through and make sure that these fighters are registered on USA Boxing before the event, you just select commission bout sheet here, and this is basically going to take all the bouts, and it's going to automatically enter in all their information here. It includes their gym name and their coach's name as well, and it has all this information here. So this is just, makes it a lot faster for you. Then you select print bout sheet. It takes about a minute to convert it to PDF, and then you can just email it to them, and it's done. So we're gonna make this faster, but it takes about a minute. So this is for the commission. We also have another one for the actual show. Obviously, for the show, it's going to be like, I don't know, 5 or 6 pages, so it's going to be too long as a flyer. So for the show, we have a single page one where you can put up to like almost 40 bouts on it. And I'll show you guys that here in a second. Do you guys typically do this, though, as far as like sending a commission sheet?
I've never received one.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. Well, in Colorado, this is kind of what they do. They typically send it to the president of the LBC, who will double check and make sure the fighters are registered or whatever. But this is how it looks like. So now it's converted it to PDF, and it shows you all the fighters, and with all their information. So obviously it's not the one that you want to give the day of the show, so we have another one, and that's the event flyer. And this one is very good, especially for the weigh-in, because obviously a lot of things change between leading up to the fight, day of the event, and then some guys, they weigh a lot more than they were supposed to, and you have walk-ins, etc. So now this is the event flyer sheet, and let's say Cinco showed up. He weighs 80 pounds, but his opponent, let's say he's 92 pounds. And this fight's not going to work, but you have another walk-in, so you just want to replace his opponent. So you just select here, remove, and then you can just select new fighter because you're replacing James Watson. Let's say you select, I don't know, Jeremy Miller, and you say Miller's boxing. And let's say they weigh, 80 pounds, and age, so let's say 10, 2012, male. Okay, so now it automatically replaced that opponent. So now you have Cinco versus Jeremy, and let's say you can switch the corners as well too. So if you just select edit here, you can just select between red or blue corner. So now Jeremy's on this side, so you can switch corners for any of them. And then if you want to look at any of the fights, any of the matches that have been deleted, this shows you matches that have been deleted for whatever reason, if one of the guys didn't show up or whatever. So this one just shows you that Cinco and Derek, they were a match, and then they were rematched. It's just kind of a reference point. And then you can also edit the weight that they're fighting at. So let's say one of them weighed in at 83 pounds, so you can just change that to 83, and that's the weight that they fought at. You can also adjust the minutes per round here. It'll just be within the legal limit of their age. So they can't fight more than 90-second rounds based on being a 10-year-old. But you can also make it a 1 minute per round if you have a long show. And then for let's see here, for the older guys, they can fight up to 3 minutes. And so, yeah, you can just make these changes here. And then after that, you can just select print bout sheet number. And I will show you the bout sheet here in a second. Do you guys spend a lot of time doing this? Okay.
Yeah, it can be time consuming.
Yeah, no, I feel you, man. I worked with Raul on some of this stuff, and I was like, wow, this is a lot. I don't know how people are doing it. But now you have it. This is complete, and so you can do all this on your phone, by the way, so you don't actually even need a computer. All of this is like mobile optimized. So if you don't want to bring your laptop or whatever to the locker room, and you just want to do it on your phone, complete it, and then create the PDF, and then you can just email it to somebody who has a printer, and they'll just print it off right then and there, or just email it out. So that's the advantage there. But yeah, that's basically the bout sheet, and I think, let's see here, that's kind of the gist of it. Let's see here, what else is there? Oh, I mean, if you're an official too, by the way, and we just sort of added this, you can add yourself as an official to an event. So all you have to do is first have your USA Boxing member ID on your profile or whatever, and then from there, you can look at all the shows that are basically like the local ones, and you can look at the event flyer or the commission bout sheet right away. And then we're also working on another feature where you can assign the officials to each of the bouts. So let's say you have 6 or 7 officials, you can do official assignment based on the bout number. So for bout 1, James is going to be the timekeeper. For bout 2, they'll be the judge, etc. But the main advantage here is it sort of creates accountability for the shows. So let's see here. I think he's registered as an official. Let me see. Okay, so this fake profile here, I added the official capability, which you can just go to edit profile, and then you just add, you want to be an official, so you just have to add that number, and then you can just go to shows here, and then let's say, I don't know, right here, you just select fight on car, well, no, not there. Okay. So right over here, you select be official for event once you've already pulled up the event itself, and then you can just select that, and boom, now you're confirmed. But if for whatever reason you want to pull out, you can pull out. It'll just say that you've pulled out in front of everybody, so that way we just have some accountability. So that's kind of the long gist of it. And do you guys have any questions? Do you want to look at the live version? Let's see here.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so this is the live version right now in Colorado. And I'm actually logged in as my partner. So let's see here. So he has a tournament tomorrow. Actually, no, Wednesday. But other than that, let's see here. So if you want to look at something that's used a lot, it's going to be, like I mentioned, the match approvals. And over here, let's see here. So I'm going to look at, I pulled up this event. I just want to see all the matches that have already been made. And it says here, okay, the match has been confirmed by Lawson's team. The match has been confirmed by Riandre's team. So this creates a lot of accountability. You're going to see this a lot on all these matches. It's not as common to see a matchup that hasn't been confirmed. It's typically canceled by the event organizer because the other team just feels like there's a lot of uncertainty behind it. So yeah, see this one over here? They haven't confirmed it yet. So it kind of like tries to put them on, I don't want to say like blast, but it just tries to prevent like a no call, no show situation. And then you can also look at all the fighters that signed up for the event, even if you're not the event organizer. And so now you can just be like, oh, you know, if I want to look at the 75 pounders, you know, under 18, well, this shows me all the 75 pounders. And then maybe you want to fight Mario. So then you can just message the event organizer and be like, you know what, I want to fight Mario. I got a guy, yada, yada, yada. And they'll usually, you know, depending on the organizer, be willing to put it together. So this is something known as the roster. And you can just access this, you know, if you're on the home page, you just, yeah, I'll change the city to Denver. So now I'm just, so now I'm just looking in Denver. Okay. And so it shows 111 competitors, it shows the location, and it also shows that there's been an announcement. If there's ever a change or something like that to an event, the event organizer can email all the people that are involved, the fighters and the coaches. Over here, if you look at the announcement, you'll see he's saying he's going to start pre-matching in mid-July. So that's pretty much it. And then this is just somebody who's added themselves to be an official for this.
that like some of these people are doing tournaments and they're charging small fees
Yeah.
for the fighters, like $30
Yeah.
for ticket sales. Is that something that could add you?
So the tournament, I'm gonna roll it out for public use, probably in like another couple months or so. I'm just not. I feel like I have to be more involved in it. So if I roll it out to somebody who hasn't used the software yet, I'm still like making it more friendly, more user friendly. So the short answer is yes, it will be in the future, but right this second for tournaments, no. And then yes, you will be able to request like a registration fee, and then it'll sync up to your bank account. And I think we're gonna do it through Stripe. So then it'll just show you, however much you want to charge, and then whether or not you want the fighter, the coach to pay the what's it called, the transaction fee, which is like 3 or 4% or whatever. And then tickets, yeah, that's another thing we're gonna work on. I still haven't completed that feature yet, but yeah, it's something that we intend to roll out.
Cool.
And yeah, I mean, we also did the Golden Gloves on here, so I can show you some of the past events here. So let's see here. It says here include past events. And let's see here. So we've done 20 events out there. This was the first event. Once you've done an event, it shows the bout schedule. So right after the weigh-in, about an hour before the fight, anybody can hop on to Konquer and they can just look at the schedule. Basically, like it's similar to like the event flyer, but just like the digital version of it. So you'll see that here, and if you select it, let's see here. Well, no, that's probably because it's an older one. Let's see. Well, it looks just like the roster page here, so it's basically going to be the same order here. Do you have any other questions, or? I'm going to be creating some tutorials, by the way, just because I know I've thrown a lot at you, so I think it's going to be pretty useful for like how do you create an event, how do you match people up, just anything that you sort of might have missed or something like that, by the way. So these probably going to come out in the next few weeks is the goal. Are there other things that you think that we're missing that we should look into adding, or?
So as a coach, right, sometimes gyms have more than one coach.
That's a good question.
But I don't wanna give my account to another coach, right? Can they have their own account but we share the same fighters?
Absolutely. So the short answer is yes, but we're working on that. So I think that's going to take another week for us to complete. So yes, we have had that request come up multiple times. And before it was just one coach and then just their fighters. But I've realized that, yeah, in the real world, you have multiple coaches. You have, sometimes even a fighter will help the coach out with taking the fighters to events or help them manage things. So we're definitely opening that up. So yeah, I'm still working on that system actually.
Cool.
Any other questions? Sorry, go ahead.
I said I think this is really good stuff. I don't know about everybody else, but I like it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's a great program. What is the cost and how does it work? Is it just an app for your phone and a downloadable program for the computer? And is it a monthly fee, a yearly fee?
So it's just a website. You just go to Konquer.club. So you don't have to download any software or download an app through the store. As far as charging, we haven't monetized it yet, so we're not charging anything. I don't believe we're gonna be charging like fighters or coaches. I don't think that that's like the route that we want to go. I think that, down the road, maybe if you're setting up an event, we might charge the event organizer for like using that, but that's like that's probably what we'll look into doing. And then maybe like for tournaments, just like a small percentage of like a registration fee or something like that. But we haven't monetized it yet, so. And our goal is to make it, free for coaches and fighters, for the base of your users. So I'm definitely not trying to do a subscription for like a coach or a fighter. Like, I don't see that.
Hey, Mom, have you talked to Mike Campbell at all?
Have I talked to who?
Mike Campbell.
Not directly. Should I be talking to him? I'm certainly happy to speak with them for sure.
Your number's still the same on Red Point in 2019, 970-690?
2901?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my number, yeah. You found it on WebPoint?
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
So anyway, I'll get with Jeff Mays. He's the chair of the coaches committee, and I'll get with Mike Campbell, and we'll set something up with you.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Yeah, I mean, our goal, like I said, I love USA Boxing, and they're great, and I love working with the LBC. So like, our goal is just to build like closer communities when it comes to putting on events and just combat sports in general. Right now, our focus is amateur boxing, and let's get that all the features optimized. Let's get the teams on board, and let's make sure that the user experience is on point. There's still sometimes things might not work, and if they don't, just message me or whatever. If something is confusing, doesn't look right, and we'll do our best to try to fix it right away. So we just rolled out a few months ago, so everything is not perfect yet, but I'm sure in the next like 3-4 months with the team that I brought on board, like, we're working on making our system a lot more reliable, a lot faster, and just better in general. So, I'm excited about that. And yeah, I mean, our goal is, we'll also have like a iOS and Android app and the mobile website as well, and desktop. So that's always going to be the case. You don't have to be married to an app. You can just hop on to Konquer through the website. And everything should be accessible and user friendly that way as well. So that's kind of the goal.
Have you guys thought about how Max Tracker is? Is that something you guys thought about putting it on there?
Yeah, I believe somebody asked that question before. And the short answer is we would like to integrate with Match Tracker, but I think we have to get the approval from USA Boxing to do that.
Oh yeah, I was the one who asked that. No, I mean like just like for instance, you see how you were able to print out a PDF of the Bout Sheet. And is it were you guys thinking about having like a sheet where we're just entering wins and stuff like that? No.
So like a match result for an event?
Yeah.
So yes, we do want to implement that. I actually did that for the tournament where I created a match result, a very simple match result, and after each bout. And so I think that one is something that we can roll out. Right now it just shows the history of a fighter if they've competed in an event on here. So for instance, if I pull up this fight over here that happened in March, and I go to, let's say, Riandre's profile here, for all the events they've been matched up on Konquer, it's gonna show them. So this shows their upcoming fights, and then this shows their past fights, and then it shows their team, etc. So right now, Riandre, he has fought June 18th, he's fought June 5th, he's fought May 15th, he's fought April 30th, and then it shows this is his coach, and then it shows the rest of his team here. And then for the coach, we did something where you go to the coach's profile, and it'll show, let's see here, it'll show their fighters' upcoming fights, their fighters' past fights, and, you know, just because I feel like coaches, you know, obviously deserve credit, and, you know, if they're managing fighters, you can see the upcoming fights and the past fights for all their fighters. And then let's take a look here. If you've hosted an event, it also shows the events that you've hosted. So these are all the events this coach has hosted here. And he's also, you know, if he's officiated an event, it shows the event he's officiated. But yes, I do want to add that. I was just a little bit hesitant because I wanted to make sure like we had good data integrity, and I didn't want just anybody to just put in a result and it's like not verifiable, you know. But I think I have a good idea for how we want to do it, which is I think the officials are going to be the ones, if you've signed up as an official for an event, you'll be able to just add the match result from there. And if anybody contends it, then they can contend it, and, you know, maybe we'll make the change or something like that. But yeah. Let's see here.
Sean, you're muted. I know you're talking, but you're muted.
That's funny. I always do that on Zoom. But Hamon, the best way to get this going and to help the coaches out in our LBC and every other LBC is to get this on a mass. And the best way to do that is with the Coaches Commission, to get them behind it. And if you ever do charge a fee, you know, hopefully we'll be able to get a grant through the USA Boxing Foundation, similar to what we did. And we'll go over, whenever we meet, we'll go over what we're doing for the officials on a different platform.
Yeah.
We've got it ready. It should be rolled out here pretty soon. So, but anyway, I'll set up a meeting. I'll call you. Your email's still at HB, your last name?
Yeah, hbelgassim@gmail.com. Yeah, that, and I also hbb@konquer.club is also my other email.
HB?
HBB at konquer.club.
All right. Well, I'm gonna jump off here, but you'll hear from me here soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to talk to you about, you know, how we can bring this on board to, I guess, nationwide and stuff like that. And yeah, we're doing our best. We're a small team, but, you know, we're working on it. And yeah.
Well, while we're on the call, I'm just adding my team on the Konquer website, since I asked you what the price was, and it's pretty intuitive. It's self-explanatory. I mean, I like how well the page moves around. I'm doing it on my phone, and there's no complications and everything. So, I mean, it's easy to use, and I like that.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. I mean, if you guys ever have problems, just email me, and we'll do our best to address it and to fix it. So, you know, I think we're working on making everything as reliable as possible. And this is the Golden Glove tournament that we recently did, by the way, if you guys were ever interested in seeing it. We did all the bracketing and the bout sheet and the match results and the weigh-ins, and it went pretty smoothly, so I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah.
So everybody, just wanted to thank you for the informational meeting. Thank you, Mom, for
absolutely
taking time out to run us through it. The Georgia Association, I set up a meeting for them. What was that, Mom? A week and a half ago. They are very receptive. I think they're going to start using it. I know I want to use it for my next show, but I love, you know, over the next few days, Ralph, maybe we can continue the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys know of somebody who has a show that I can help them out with onboarding them on here, and then
I'm going to get out right now, May, October 29th.
Okay.
Before Jeff starts talking, I'm going to tell you it's me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean we're
You'll have
we're
to help Ralph. He's slow. I can do it myself.
In the meantime, once you create your team, you want to sign up for my fake event.
Yeah.
So when you scroll events, you'll see it in white, and it says this is not a real event, it's a test event. Go ahead and submit your boxers for that, and I'll match them, in the fake event, and you can kind of see how it works.
Christy.
What was the name of the event, Christy?
oh